In this problem, we want to find the second derivative of the quantity x squared plus 8 raised to the fifth power. So first, we just find the first derivative. Now this is going to be a simple chain rule or simple general power rule. I usually think about this as I have some quantity inside the box. So when I find my derivative, I take the derivative of like the box or the derivative of the outside. So it's going to be 5 times anything that's inside the box raised to the power of 4 because I dropped the power by 1. And what was inside the box was x squared plus 8. Now times it by the derivative of anything that was inside the box. The derivative of x squared plus 8 is 2x. So this is the derivative of what was inside the box. Now simplify all of this, and I get 10x times x squared plus 8 raised to the fourth power. Now I want to take the second derivative. I'm saying I want to take the second derivative, but what's the problem here? It's a multiplication, and since I don't want to expand x squared plus 8 raised to the fourth power, I need to do the multiplication rule, okay, or the product rule. So in this case, this would be my f of x, and this would be my g of x. Now you don't have to make that your f of x and g of x, but that's, to me, was the logical place to split it into two products. Now when you do the quotient rule says we're going to take the first, so let's write it up here, times derivative of second plus the second times the derivative of the first. Notice this is very non-official terminology here. So take my first function, 10x, times the derivative of the second. So I need to take the derivative of this g of x, or my x squared plus 8 to the fourth power. So I'm going to do the exact same way I did up above. Let's bring down the power of 4. You keep the inside the same, because it's kind of like this part would be inside a box, and drop your power by 1. But don't forget to times by the derivative of the inside. Derivative of x squared plus 8 is 2x. So that's the derivative of the second. Plus, now we need our second, x squared plus 8 to the fourth power, times the derivative of the first. The first is 10x. The derivative of 10x is 10. At this point, we just simplify. You have to be very careful here. I'll admit I did it before I did the movie. I didn't factor out the 10 correctly. It took me an extra 10 minutes to try and figure out what I was doing wrong. So pay attention as you're simplifying. So simplify just a little bit before I start factoring. I have 10x times 4 times 2x. I can pull all that out. 10 times 4 is 40, times 2 is 80. So this is 80 x squared times x squared plus 8 to the third power. Plus 10 times x squared plus 8 to the fourth power. Now, I would probably usually be okay with you stopping here. Depending on how you're entering it into MyMathLab, you might want to factor some more. We could try to, or you might want to simplify some more. We could do that by factoring. So I could take a 10 out, as well as this x squared plus 8 shows up twice. So let's take that out. So we'll take out a 10, and I can factor out x squared plus 8 cubed. And what is left? So I'm going to have 8x squared plus the quantity x squared plus 8 just to the power of 1, since I took out 3 of them. And we can simplify just a little bit more, because I'm going to have 8x squared plus x squared is 9x squared plus 8. And that is as simplified as we can get.